You ready, Jane?
Yes.
All right. You ready, class? All right. Well, I'm Mr. Tyler here with Jane, and we're excited for this month's Meet the Master. So let's talk about her for a little bit. This month's artist, her name was, let me make sure I got this right, Rosa Bonheur. So she was French. She lived from 1822 to 1899. That's, let's see, 1900, 2000. She lived like 130 years ago.
140?
Yeah, so let's see. What have we learned about Rosa? She was what we call a realistic artist. So that means she liked to draw as accurate, like the textures of what she was actually looking at. She loved animals, especially cats. So she would bring in a real cat and look at the cat and study it and all the lines and all the texture of the fur and all the colors and try to make a very realistic picture. So she's a realist. So today we're going to be using some pastels. We have a pencil, some pastels, and you get to choose your background paper. So I chose this kind of medium brown. Jane chose the light brown. Let's all start and go ahead and turn over your paper and write your name on your slip before we do anything else. And the date. And then turn that back over.
It is Wednesday today.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some time and go pretty slow. And first we're gonna draw the outline of a cat, of the face of our cat. And then later we're gonna add a lot of texture. So the first thing we need, and I would just say, watch me, I'll go slowly and then you'll try. So try not to get too far ahead in this part. But we're just gonna start with your lightest pastel, so maybe a little white or yellow. You can use either one of those.
A little one?
So what you should have, yeah, just a little piece. So what you should have is from your learning packet, this picture of a cat. So we're gonna try to just draw this cat. And I can actually show, so this cat is symmetrical. So that means if I folded it in half, this side is the same as this side, right? So that's something to just keep in mind.
No, actually it's not. That one is...
Oh, Jane is pointing out that this particular one has shoulders that goes a little off, but the actual face of the cat is symmetrical, right, Jane? Okay, and we're just drawing the face. So just kind of as we draw all of our shapes, we're going to try to just line up the middle of the page and keep it symmetrical. So the amount of a triangle on one side is the same on the other side, and just as good as you can, because it's art and it's okay if it gets a little unsymmetrical. So we want this for reference. So everyone, you should just have this kind of in front of you. Jane, I'm sharing one with Jane, but I think you all have your own. So we'll keep that there and we'll just look at this for reference. Okay, Jane?
Okay.
All right, you ready? Let's see. Okay, so we got the cat drawing. We got our sheet right here. Get your light color. And let's just find, as best you can, the very center of your paper. And put a little tiny dot. Jane, you might want to use, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So a little tiny dot there. You want to maybe use yellow, so it shows up just, or this like light green. Maybe not green, but maybe the yellow. Because then our friends can see it a little easier.
It's good.
Let me see. Yeah, just use, or here, use this one. Because you're going to color it all over afterwards anyway. So
Okay.
use that one. Let's see.
This one hasn't been broken.
Let me see if it shows up at all. Oh, that's even worse. Yeah.
That's like the same color as this.
I know. Okay, let's see. Oh man. Maybe the white was easiest. I think you all can see the white. Okay. Jade's gonna use white. Sorry for that. Okay, but hopefully by now you found the center of your page. So now we're just gonna go step by step, do it slowly at a time. So 3 fingers down from that dot and just draw another dot. Just a little dot right below. Yep. Excellent. Okay. So now what we want to do is, so what we've drawn here is the start of the nose of our cat. Okay, Jane? So let's, from that second dot that we just drew, we're going to turn that into the triangle of this nose. So remember to make it symmetrical, but let's do a line straight across like that. About, what's that? Maybe about 1.5, maybe 2 fingers out on either side. Yeah, maybe a little less. Yeah, so just draw that line out. Good. And from that line first, just draw 2 straight up and down line. Just draw a line straight up to right about where that middle dot begins. So just straight up like an open box without the lid. That's what we've drawn just now. Yeah. Great. Okay, and now it's kind of, if you study this nose here, the triangle nose, it kind of has rounded corners, right? So try to draw a triangle without really sharp corners. Just draw kind of like a rounded corner triangle there. So from there, I'm gonna round it, go down, and round that one and come up. See?
Oh, that looks very symmetrical.
Well, thank you. So yeah, try to draw that. So draw a nose. There you go. That's good, Jane. And then round that bottom. Excellent. Okay. Now, so we've got the start of our nose. Let's work on the eyes. So coming out. So let's look at this. You could even trace this with your finger, Jane. So follow this up. Here, let's do this over here so our friends can see. You can trace this with your finger. We've drawn this line up to right about there. This goes up and then it like kind of blossoms out into an eye, right? So follow that line all the way around like that with your finger. There you go. So that's kind of what we're going to draw next. So you're just going to go up and then draw like a little oval and come back to the line there.
That's a little eye.
Yeah. Do the same on the other side. Okay. Very good. Now, right in the middle of that are the pupils. So what did that look like to you? So like
that.
Yeah, so those pupils, so draw kind of a really long oval. And we're not coloring it in yet. This is just the outline, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, let's go over to So let's go over to our ears. So kind of up into the corner, maybe 2 or 3 fingers down from the diagonal, draw like a little dot right there. And do the same on the other side. Excellent. Okay, so you got a little dot in that corner. That's going to be the very tip of your ears. So from that, let's start by just putting kind of an open triangle down and draw those ears like that. So kind of a carrot down like this, right?
A carrot?
Maybe it's not called a carrot. I don't know. Yeah, like that. Okay. So now, hopefully everyone's at. So here, I'll show you mine. It kind of shows up a little more. I've got my eyes and the nose and the ears up there. Okay. So now we're just going to fill in the face. You ready?
Yes.
So let's start. I would start with the top. So just kind of like an oval. So not straight across. We're kind of a rounded head from the tip of the bottom of the ear to the bottom of the ear.
Bottom of the ear to the bottom of the ear.
Yep. That's great. And let's see, this next part is a little tricky. So here's what we want to do. I'll show you over here. So watch me. So first I'm gonna go a short little straight down from the nose. And then instead of just a big circle, I want to fill up this whole space, but I'm gonna go out from here and it's gonna be kind of the start of that cat's mouth. See? And then I do the same thing on this side, symmetrical up to that ear. We're gonna fill that in. So do that. So go straight down, and we're drawing those big cat cheeks. Kind of goes down from there, and it kind of, yeah, there you go. Good, good, good. Yep, all right. So now let's look at our kitty cat over here. So what we just drew is this bigger area up here to the cat, but we still need these little whisker, the little upper lip of the cat, right? So what does that kind of do? It follows the original line that we did, but then it branches up and it creates like a little circle, but it doesn't connect all the way. So do that. So kind of follow that around, but then right about there, branch up and come back toward the nose and then stop. So you watch Jane do it. Yeah, right about there. Branch toward the nose and stop. Yeah. Same thing on the other side. Yep. And yeah. So for this one, we're not going to draw the whiskers just yet. So hold off on that. And then really the last thing for this part of it is we just need to finish up the lip, the bottom lip, kind of, or maybe even the tongue. It's just like a little half circle connecting down there. Yeah, it's okay. Great. So see that? You can see mine here. So we're just drawing that final little lip. So you can go back and look, and it's okay if it looks like it got messed up or smudged or anything, because all of this is going to get covered now with the fur in the next part. But just kind of make sure you have the basic outline. You should have the nose with the eyes and the pupils, the cat ears, and it's kind of a circle, but it has more shapes down here as well. So just kind of make sure you've got all that. I've got all that. Jane's got all that. Okay. So, now we get to have a little bit more fun. So we can go probably put away your light pastel. And I'm going to show this over here for a little bit. So what we want to just practice.
Why aren't we going to draw the whiskers?
We're going to do that next. So I want us to all practice. You can even just grab this sheet. This is kind of your practice sheet. So everyone grab this sheet in front of you before we do anything on our art sheet. And we're just going to practice different texture. So now we want to fill it in with the different texture of our cat. So if you kind of just imagine the last time you've seen a cat, maybe it's that cat that all of you pet on in the back fence after school. What's that cat's name? Oreo? Paris, yeah. So remember the last time you saw a cat, it had all these different whiskers and kind of textures. So there's, let's talk about some different techniques that you might use. So I'm going to do a few, and then Jane, I want you to just practice on this side. And we're not actually coloring this one in, we're just kind of practicing. Color? So here, one.
Any color?
Yeah, but watch me first. So if you pick up just a pastel, any pastel, there's a lot of different ways to use this pastel. I could use the very kind of sharp tip like this, so you can see me right there, and I can do a bunch of lines like that, right? Maybe even back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's kind of a technique I use for grass, but some cat hair looks kind of like that.
That looks like grass.
Yeah.
That's brown.
Another one you might use is, if you had like a smaller piece, you might do the side, and you can do more like swooshes like this, right? That's
cool
kind of
color.
like a soft.
That's a cool color.
Yeah, that would make kind of like a soft texture, right? So you can just use the side. I can also use the side more straight up and down, right? maybe for some of the lines on the cat. One of the things, hold on, Jane, let me do a few more. So one of the things you could do is, hold on. So you could use just the bottom, like if you stood your crayon up like this, and I could just do a bunch of almost like dots, back and forth, back and forth. That kind of would give, you can even kind of feel it. It's like a rougher texture. Okay. So let's see, what else? What else? I could do some curly hair. Maybe my cat has curly hair. And so I would just do kind of a lot of little circles everywhere, right? Kind of like that. Okay, what else? What else? I could do, yeah, maybe that's enough for there. So Jane, try to practice, and you all now, following Jane, just practice using different techniques to shade in half part of your practice sheet. Oh, that's okay. You'll color it in later. So yeah, pick a few more. Do some of those straight lines as well. That might be how we do the whiskers, right? But when we do the whiskers, we're going to use straight lines like that, I bet. Great. So yeah, practice using the top of your pastel, the side, go up and down, make little dots.
That's not making a dot.
Yeah, it kind of works. I just thought of one. You could put it down like this. You could put it down like this and just twist it.
The pastel bowl.
Oh yeah, you could just twist it like this. Like, twist it, twist it, twist it.
Cool.
Sometimes I've seen cats that seems like they have little like freckles on their lip. That would be a good way to do that. Yeah. Now do just like straight lines like that, like the grass or the whiskers technique. Oh, you did that? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or we could do clothes like this.
Cool. Okay, so you can keep practicing for a little bit. Are you ready to shade in our cat now? Okay, well, I'm gonna give you all a little secret. So Rosa would have done more realistic, and maybe we should do that too. So you could think of like a real cat that you saw that was maybe, you know, what are some colors of cats? Orange or brown or silver and gray. So you can do that. Or I actually just got inspired watching Jane. If you really want to make a cat that's all crazy colors, you can do that too. You think that's fair, Jane? I think that's fair. Yeah, so you can do like a blue and purple cat if you want. But first, before we do anything on our sheet, I want you to just think through what color cat do you want to make, okay? And then, you know, any kind of, if you think of any cat you've seen, it's actually a lot of different colors. Even a brown cat, if you look closely, it's all different shades of brown, right? All throughout. And so we want to do a couple. So maybe if you choose brown, for instance, pick like all the browns, even the light brown that you can find. So I'm going to do kind of like that. But Jane, what are some colors that you want to do? You could do like white and gray. You could do silver.
White.
What do you want to do?
Like a Crookshanks.
Crookshanks from, where's Crookshanks? Is that a Harry Potter reference? I thought so. Okay, so Crookshanks might be like,
Crookshanks is a cat.
Crookshanks is orange, right?
Yes.
Orange and what? Is there any other colors that Crookshanks might be? So maybe you can do orange. I think you could add a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Maybe yellow.
a little bit of that. Yeah. So pick a couple colors and just kind of have them handy.
Yeah.
So I've got all the colors I think. And then what we're going to do is we're going to layer it. So I would do, you don't color the whole thing. Maybe pick like your lighter color first.
The idea is
and just kind of visualize, think through, okay, do I want a big spot here and the rest, maybe the top is gonna have one shade and the bottom is gonna have a different shade, you know? But what we're gonna do is start with the lightest. Maybe you picked like 3 or 4 colors. Do some of those techniques, pick some of these techniques and start to just color in your cat as best as you can. And so do a little bit with the lighter color, do a little more with the darker color. You can kind of layer on top. But if you go from light to dark, that'll be the easiest because then you won't, you'll be able to color over anything that you didn't really like. So, any questions, Jane?
No.
Okay. So let's color it in and try to pretend you're really drawing that fur texture, especially. So don't just color it. I want you to go through and really pick a technique, but then really feel like you're creating fur the whole time. So try to do something like that. So just start coloring in as best you can your and maybe do a little bit in one color, go back and do another in a different shade and just kind of layer on all those different things, yeah. At the very end, we're gonna outline it with black and we'll go into the eyes and actually color in those pupils with black. So those will stand out right at the very end. You can color around the eyes, around the pupils. You can choose whatever color your cat's eyes want to be, you know. So maybe my cat's eyes are going to be green. But that means the outside, the pupils are going to be black. Around the pupil, I'm going to color green.
I colored the whole cat green and then I'm going to shade it over.
Nice.
My cat's eyes want to be yellow.
And if you think, usually cats' noses are pretty dark, right? So that one you might want to use your darkest color. You could use black or you could do like a dark brown. Color in that nose as well.
Okay, I want to do like this color.
Cool.
Ooh.
Very cool. And if you do like the same texture on top with a different color, it gets this like nice layering effect there. What do you think? And you can even go back through with your lighter color if you want, kind of blend it all in. Ooh, yeah. Now it's starting to look like Crookshanks.
Crookshanks.
So hopefully you're having fun now shading in, using that texture. Just try to imagine you can like reach out and pet this cat's fur. And so you're trying to give it all that kind of texture as best as you can. And you can just keep going back over with new colors to kind of give it more layers. Okay, so you might still have more layers to do. I'm gonna walk us through the very end when you get there. So Jane, let's do our black really quick, and then you can go back and keep coloring in.
Okay.
So get you'll get your black, and you can just go back to, you can see your original outline, and maybe you want to just outline it to make it stand out in black this time.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna kind of color mine in. And I'll color in the pupil of my cat for sure. Excellent. And then don't forget to add some whiskers, maybe 3 or 4 whiskers on each, coming out of those lips at the top there, remember? All right.
Thanks.
What do you think? Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Here, I'll put mine over here too. Whoa. All right. Well, thanks everybody. So go ahead and keep finishing coloring in those outlines. And if you want to keep going back, if you have more time, you can keep adding just a ton of layers and texture to your cat. But great job, everyone. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.